My name is Ben Bungert. I'm the Director of Operations at Learn Launch Accelerator. Learn Launch Accelerator is an education technology accelerator specifically focused on early stage startups in Boston. We invest small dollars in a few early stage ed tech companies across early childhood, K-12, workforce, and higher ed. And then we take them through an intensive educational program surrounded by curriculums, human supports, and lots of different things to help them get from the business they have in market to a stronger business in the market. My job as Director of Operations covers a lot of different things. I go from booking meetings some days to helping raise money other days, to supporting companies with pitch decks, to putting together the educational curriculum, to matching mentors with companies, to welcoming people to our space for a showcase, to lots of different things. If you were to put my job into two different buckets, I'd say 50% of it is actually working on operations for the program itself, so the actual educational programming that we put our companies through. And then the other half would be operations for the business to make sure the business runs, so finance, accounting, marketing, all of those things. So it's a broad skill set, and it's a broad set of things that I have to do. Our team is really small, so it's kind of everybody does a little bit of everything kind of thing. We're 4 full-time employees. And every year we invest in up to 15 companies. So it's definitely a heavy lift, and there's a lot of need to go around. When companies come through our program, they have lifetime access to us as resources, and oftentimes they come to us so early that they really do need us for years and years to come. One of my really good friends is the founder of one of the companies from the first cohort back in 2012. And so there's always someone knocking at our door for something. So it's a busy, interesting sort of center of the ed tech ecosystem type of role. I think Northeastern has this wonderful sort of mentality that you can do anything and you should do it all now and you should do it all as fast as possible. And that's not necessarily something Northeastern teaches you, but it's definitely in the startup environment. It's just the people that are around startups and the startup ecosystem at Northeastern. And I think I was resistant to that because I came from a place where my family's entrepreneurs, but they're not tech entrepreneurs. They're not trying to get somewhere as fast as they possibly can. We're looking to grow their company and IPO it or sell it, or they're just looking to do something they're interested in, that they enjoy and learn from it and be able to provide a good life for themselves and their family, right? And that's sort of like, some people think that's just sort of pedestrian. I think it's a path for entrepreneurship, right? That's one of the ways that this plays out. And I would just urge students to think a little bit more about what their path looks like, because sometimes the path and the representation you see in the Entrepreneurs Club or in IDEA or whatever, the people who are getting elevated and illuminated by the university or by their peers are the people who are doing like what we believe to be the coolest stuff. And I think that there's a lot of other things you can do. And I think there's a lot of different ways that entrepreneurs can be entrepreneurs. I also think that there's a little bit of taking a step back and thinking about what is it that how can you utilize Northeastern's deep resources to build the thing that you want to build, if that's what you want to do. And if you don't want to build something now, that's okay, right? You don't have to be one of the 700 startups that's in IDEA, right? That you don't have to be one of those. I certainly wasn't, and I maybe at some point will be, but just because that's the thing that people are driving at doesn't mean you have to. I think don't set your sights too high or too far in the future. I think there's a lot of stuff that changes after you graduate. The 3, 4, 5, 6 years after school, you're learning a lot. I think I look back and I can't even think about how much stuff I actually learned in the time that I left school and I started and where I am now. You grow in ways that you don't know you will. And I think that people have this sort of, let's go as fast as possible. Let's get to the next thing. Let's do this 2 years at this company. Let's get this skill. Let's go to this thing. And it just feels like a hamster wheel. And for me, I'm just sort of like, I'm just going to stay put and keep learning until I stop learning or I'm not interested in the environment anymore or what I'm working on. And that's my biggest piece of advice to people, is to just follow the thing in front of you. And sure, think a little bit farther in the future, but don't always be itching to get to the next thing, because you may be missing stuff in front of you.